Guys, welcome back. This is Colby, the Bitcoin miner plug, out here celebrating the opportunity of Bitcoin. I'm gonna spark up this little petite Corona right here by the seaside, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Bitcoin mining, and why, 3 reasons why there's a huge opportunity in the space right now in 2025. If you feel like you missed the boat, I think you're mistaken. I think you'll want to stay tuned as to why you didn't miss the boat, and there's still time and opportunity for it to benefit you and your family. Let's spark this bad boy up. Do you have the up it?
Yes, the one that's on the
Oh, beautiful.
You're welcome to do it yourself.
Cheers, mate.
As long as you can. I'll cut your finger up.
I'm celebrating because I'm in the right space at the right time. 3 reasons. We're gonna talk about Trump tariffs, we're gonna talk about the stock market bloodbath, and we're also gonna talk about mining economics and why, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you wanna be buying, even if some of that blood is your blood. Oh, sure. Beautiful day to talk about Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin decoupled from the stock market as we closed into Friday. Huge amount of wealth being destroyed and created at the same time in these turbulent times where we're talking about tariffs, we're talking about the Trump administration, and how Bitcoin is where the most amount of opportunity is in all of the market. So the stock market closed with about 6 trillion with a T in wealth wiped out of the market. If we look at the weekly on the S&P 500, where were we at? I mean, Bitcoin was up. Bitcoin was up on the week, and it was up close to 2%. Which is insane as a decorrelated asset, because typically if you see the NASDAQ dumping and you see the market generally dumping, you would expect massive down days in Bitcoin. But that's not what happened on Friday. And if you're paying attention and you're not living under a rock, that should tell you something. The S&P, meanwhile, absolute freaking bloodbath last week, because the market just can't handle the uncertainty. And if you think about it, more than the top 10% own more than 80% of all equities. And so effectively this massive puke red candle down, what were we down on the week? We were down freaking 6%. Brutal. And if you think about it, that affects the ultra wealthy more than anybody, because the ultra wealthy own most of the equities. Now my question to you is, how much Bitcoin do the ultra wealthy own? And I'll tell you right now, it's not very much. If you look at the proportionality of exposure to Bitcoin, ultra wealthy are underexposed, and that's why it's a huge opportunity for people like me and people like you to get exposure. You can front run the banks, you can front run the institutions, you can front run the ultra wealthy, and you can front run the nation states. So you should learn about Bitcoin and subscribe to the channel, because all we talk about pretty much is Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin. Now, another thing to discuss is just the ultra competitive nature of Bitcoin mining. We had a freaking huge 6.81% difficulty adjustment up yesterday, which means it became 6.81% more difficult to mine Bitcoin yesterday. You're getting about 6.81% less Bitcoin for your hash power that's online. But I'm still bullish. And the reason for that is because if you're long Bitcoin, you're bullish Bitcoin, then if you pick up ultra efficient miners at value prices while Bitcoin mining revenue is compressed, then you can absolutely kill it as the bull market commences. And personally, I think the bull market party has not even started yet. We're just passing out party favors, and you're still early. So there's still time for you to get information and figure it out as to how much exposure is right for you and your family. Furthermore, just the tariffs as well. So we talked about how the market is going crazy. Nobody's safe out here. Gold has had quite a freaking run to all-time highs, but gold was down last week. Bitcoin was up. Craziness. The market's down massively. Had the worst day since 2020. About 6 trillion in wealth flipping wiped out, and Bitcoin's up. That is insane. Decoupling and what's next. I want to know in the comments whether or not you think Bitcoin is going to flipping rip faces off, or do you think it's fake news? And also tariffs. Back to how mining economics are ultra competitive right now. When Bitcoin goes on a freaking bull run, it's the efficient miners that are already online that benefit from that massive price action. And so that's why I'm not stressing about the 6.81% difficulty increase yesterday, because difficulty will continue to trend up and to the right, but I'm so bullish BTC that I believe the price action will outpace difficulty, because consider this. There is so much infrastructure and power to support the network as is, as we trend towards 1 zettahash of compute that's online securing the Bitcoin network. The network cannot easily deploy 50% more hash power. That's insane from an infrastructure perspective. Therefore, price, as it's done historically, can just disconnect from difficulty, and I'm personally betting on that as a Bitcoin miner. And tariffs can also benefit miners that are already online hashing efficiently, particularly in the United States of America, the land of opportunity, because it's more expensive to get new hash into the country through import duties and through the borders. There's machines being held up at the border by border control, and that should benefit the miners that are already online, and that's why you want to get in position before things take off. So with that note, let me know if you see the opportunity in Bitcoin mining right now, with the market puking, Bitcoin showing strength, and impending tariffs, which are going to make it more difficult to import hardware into the United States of America. I'm bullish. Subscribe to the channel, because here we talk about Bitcoin nonstop, and we talk about Bitcoin mining. This is Colby, the Bitcoin Miner Plug, signing off. Peace, love, and Bitcoin. Peace.